G'day, guys. Massive welcome, by the way. Like, I know this kind of stuff gets like thrown, there's so much stuff getting thrown around on your content, no doubt. So, the fact you've even taken a second to look at this kind of stuff, whether it's live or watching it on replay, is just, it's a privilege. So, we're grateful for that because anyone that's done it, I'm not going to talk to you guys because you guys know it's going a lot of new stuff coming in. You're all over it because you know how powerful it is deep down. But if you're a bit newer or you got no idea who I am, it doesn't matter. Just take a bit of info out of this. And the biggest thing, I guess, before I even kick this off, is that over 20 years of doing this stuff daily, I promise you, it is all about this stuff. People will come to me for this, that, running, weight loss, football, get stronger, drop 10 kilos, look better in my dress or my jeans, run a marathon, feel better, happier, energy. None of it means anything if you can't get this right. And always it's about going inward and in doing these little things right. So I just wanted to get that off the top there. So we'll get into it, Louis. Like if we look at this kind of stuff, the whole thing, we've done 300 days now in a tick over 365. So through COVID, I know I've split this a bit, but again, I'm talking to a crew that might not never have known this stuff. So I've done a lot of presentations on this kind of stuff, whether it was finding your best self or happiness or productivity, team culture, whatever it may be. And through COVID, it was like this is not sinking because these corporates, I'm talking to these corporates and all these people that are coming to me and coming through runners or ringing me, and how can I make it stick? It's so much deeper than this. It takes 100 days minimum, probably takes 300, and then I want it to be for the next 10,000. So the saying goes, and it's dead set spot on, give me 100 and I'll give you the next 10,000. And it's all revolved around flow, not force. A term I've used a lot, but it's more than that. Okay, there's a lot of good writing on flow, and I'll talk about that throughout the program. It's not about this. And I guess what I've done is kind of succincted it in and made it about every day and every moment that you kind of encounter. Repetition is everything, and I'll talk about this in a big way because that's what gives you the belief. Confidence is fleeting. Reps give you the self-belief and build a concrete base. Consistency and ease. It doesn't have to be hard or a grind. So that's the overall and real overarching encapsulation of what we're going to be chatting about and you're going to be training and doing over the next 100 days when we kick it off. Next one, now these two I don't want to real ramble on, but I promise you over the next 100 odd days, and if you really invest in yourself from a personal energy perspective, this is what you're going to really go through, these kind of things. And it's got to be, I'm not going to waffle on about that today, but those words there, you'll know a bit more about it by the end of this 20 minutes. But it's really important stuff that we keep coming back to this kind of stuff, the self-love, self-belief, flow, not force, the micro and macros I'll talk about in a minute, showing up for yourself, and it's just about showing up. It doesn't have to, you don't have to attach any outcome to it or attach any way you should be feeling. I think that's the people's biggest downfall is we've got all these expectations of ourselves, and when you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, you've got families, you've got work, and things aren't going quite as smooth as you'd like them to go. It's normally when the wheels fall off. So that's the time when you need it most, and you need your system most when you don't have to worry about showing up with this amazing amount of energy. It's got nothing to do with that. You take care of the little things, the energy will come. Mindset, repetition, flow with ease, and again, it's a lot of over and over. We're going to go over this stuff in a positive and real compounding manner. So we flick on to the next one. It's another one. This is just the structure and the system of it all. So again, 300 days trial, 300 days go at it, and we've just wanted to remove all roadblocks and just for ease. So again, if you're coming on sight unseen, the micro, meso, macro goals, I'm going to talk about them in a minute because they're crucial. Weekday magics, and then I'm going to talk about all that moving forward. So I'm not going to bore you going over it twice. That's a big structure there, but the best thing about it is obviously you got the team there in daily Zooms, live and everything, and it's all on the one app, and you get access, or it's the Gold Pro Plus or the non-Gold Pro Plus. You're on the app there, and it's just one spot. So that's the best thing for all your lives and you get two other daily drops as well, which are pretty cool. I'm about to talk about there. But pretty much, I just want to make it easy because we haven't been able to put it on the app and we haven't been able to do things in the past, but now we are. So it's really smooth and it's just easy and seamless. Click over there to this one as we get into this one. This is the stuff that I guess we've kind of developed again, and it's just a bit of time. So if say you were to put yourself in this journey, and I know lots and lots of people are going around for 200, 300, 400 days, a lot of years, but I really want to talk to the people that have not done anything like this before. It doesn't have to be crazy. It's just got to be real. So you're trying to really change things, but not drastically. And it's not enough to make like anything like ripples. It's just about to make little snowflakes, and they'll build. But you do have to spend some time with yourself initially, especially. And then hopefully, long term, just be able to be calm and be with yourself. But spend some time with yourself. We give you a questionnaire. Again, it's very private. You can share it with me if you want. You don't have to at all. And it's just a bit of pre-programmed self-evaluation where you really want to be. And again, from day one or day -5 or whenever you fill it out, maybe day 5 if it's the first week, it's going to be different, but a lot of it will be the same in 100 days, but a lot of stuff will change as well because you're going to come out of this as a very different person. And I'd hope you would want that anyway, because you're not going to have the same things in 100 days. No doubt some of the biggest stuff will be. And you can see there, what do you want? Permission to be happy, generational health and happiness, these kind of things. What's your ideal life? And it's not normally about the superficial stuff. It's a lot deeper than that. But also, if you haven't been able to feel calm and happiness and energy for a long time or as long as you remember, then that would be where I'd be starting because that's far greater than anything. And that's where we're going to talk about in a minute because, again, it's far deeper. People used to say when with runners, I'm not sure if people know as a running coach or an S&C, athletic development, exercise science, why don't you niche down? And I totally understand. I've done a lot of writing in the last 3 months, really powerful. The writing feels so much easier than anything I've ever done because it just comes out and it's just so organic. But and I'll explain in the writing that with the niche down, every single business person, operator, coach, whatever, I totally understand where they're coming from. I do. But it's never been about that because I actually genuinely believe with this kind of system that I can help every single person. It doesn't have to be a runner or an athlete or someone trying to drop 15 kilos. That's the middle product, as you'll see in a minute. So that's why I've always pushed back on that, not in a rude way, but I'm not going to niche down because this is about life and it's what probably we should all be doing. And you're gonna grow a lot, you're gonna evolve a lot, and you're gonna see lots of circumstances of people that aren't as evolved as you, and that's fine. You let them be them, and that's fine. But as long as you can be up here in this zone and not letting anything affect you, that's my only goal. If we flick over to the next screen here, this is kind of where we're going to get into it. And this is what works. This is what works. And I know there's a lot of people that are missing it already, a lot are missing it already from a mindset perspective or even an injury perspective, which is crazy, but I can't believe the evidence already. So micro goal, so in exercise science, and this is as old as the 60s and 70s and the books behind me, periodization and these kind of things. I don't want you to think about this, but there's a term micro, meso, macro as far as cycles and programming, okay? So macro is your full cycle and your full year. Meso is a block of 10 weeks or 12 weeks, and micro is the week to week, day to day. Forget about that. What I've tried to do is make everything so easy to remember in times of crisis or times of tornado, but also good times as well. So what we've done is we've reworded and reprogrammed a few things. So your micro goals are goals that you will be able to tick off every day. And if you don't tick them off every day, that's okay. You reset as many times as you want, but you do your very best to tick them off. You can pick 2 to 4. Now, you think about 2 to 5. The macro goal is really deep, and that's probably what you're writing about in that future self. Look, and we'll talk about that later. But and then you can reverse back. But we're going to start with micros. The micros are the non-negotiables. You write 2 to 5 to 6 things, and you can see them below, some examples. They've got to be attainable, they've got to be positive, but they can't be outlandish or too ambitious, because the ambition can come in the meso and the macro. The micros have to be just bulletproof, detaching from outcome, just doing it. And the thing about they're your non-negotiables. They're the things you just do every day. But when you do them, they compound. And this is, people don't realize that the micros are working. That's the biggest thing, and that's the best thing. Because you think about everything you've ever done well in life, you probably look back with rose-colored glasses and you look at some of the great things or the happiest moments in your life, but you probably forget, I know you forget a lot of those little things, because it's over and over again. This is what gives self-belief. This is what builds concrete bases. If you come from a system of, I want to be happy, I want to be financially successful, I want to get that job, I want to get that wife, I want to have more time for my kids, have more energy, I want to run a marathon under whatever time, I want to be able to just run with my kids, but you don't have the micros in on board, you're building that goal on a house of cards. You might get there, but the first sign of wind, it'll be over. You get the micros and you're building with self-belief, with concrete and reinforcement. And that's the key. But people, when they get emotional or they go back to old ways or they go down ancestral generational habits or trauma, it's over if you haven't got the micros. So these could be anything, and there's millions there. We can go through it much later, but examples, there's heaps there. But look, you do it and you write it down at the start, and we can change it by all means. But usually it's things that are going to help you feel better and really work towards your best self. Could be anything. 10,000 steps a day, no blue light within 90 minutes of sleep, 3 minute breath work each morning. It might be as simple as I do my weekday magic every day at this time. Doesn't have to be 5 a.m. Melbourne time, but I do it at 6 a.m. It could be as simple as I do 2 liters of water consumed before 5 p.m. 5 minutes mobility. Don't react the way you normally react. Take 5 seconds to breathe and don't go into anxiousness or self-doubt or self-loathing. Get my training session done for that day, whatever that may be. We'll talk about that near the end. So the 3 to 4 things, and if you're getting ticks, 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 then it builds your identity as well, and it really it's building this self-fulfilling prophecy that's going to be absolutely so powerful. And the hormones and neurotransmitters, you can't even begin to understand what they do for you, as opposed to missing sessions, missing this, and having that old self-doubt come back in. Micros are everything. I can't tell you how much. But again, progress over perfection, and reset as often as you need. Don't look at something and go, I'm not. Don't do a session, a strength session or a magic, and I can't do that. That's not true at all. Just do whatever else I'm doing. Do something similar, whatever. There's no wrong. The only wrong is not doing it. That's the thing. And the chemicals that go off in your body when you're talking ill of yourself because you can't do this like me, or you can't do this like him, or you can't do that, it's not going to get you anywhere. So that's what we've got to do a 180 on as well. But again, I'm not preaching up here like a pastor. It's going to take time. The next slide, Louis, is the mesos and macros. I'm not going to spend as much time on these, but these are very important. The macro goals, I'm going to go first. They're your big ones. If you're in your 20s, you might not even have these yet, and that's fine. You might just want happiness and energy. But if you're over 30, you probably got a decent idea of some of your big macro goals. Truly happy, live to your very best, fullest potential, become a weapon physically, emotionally, financially, happiness, energy, self-love, care, run boundary for your grandkids. They're not even here yet. Be able to move with your great grandkids and be a life, have an enhanced lifespan, enhanced health span, true purpose, North Star kind of stuff, travel the world, all that stuff, be able to give back to charities or to your grandkids, great grandkids. You might not even have kids yet, but that kind of stuff, right? That's your macro, because that's true purpose, no wrong answer at all. It again, progress over perfection. And then in the middle there, we've got those meso goals, which is probably what I've done for 20 years from a running, triathlon, football, weight loss sense. Yeah? Run faster, drop some weight, strength, athletic metrics, all that. Great. Great. injury free, achieve more in a day. Look, there's good stuff, business. It's all magnificent. Competitive sports, non-competitive sports. Okay, just drop a bit of weight so I can enjoy my whole. Fantastic stuff. But you can't get there without the micros. I'm telling you this now. So those three things, and again, I'm in some pretty deep writing about it, and it's really powerful. I'm not going to bore you with all the science, but it's crucial as long as you trust yourself and back yourself in. So if you've never backed yourself in, then now's the time because no one else is coming to save you. It really is that simple. You must show yourself the love that you deserve because you deserve to be happy. Flick over, please, Louis. So the weekday magics, again, we're getting back to the system here. These have been fun. Like I said, 300 of them we've done. And these are Monday to Friday, 5 a.m. Aussie Eastern time. So we've had people in a state that do a great job to get up at 4:30, but you don't have to. You can do it at the same time every day. We've got a really tight knit community. You can be as active online in a Facebook or online in the app as you want to be, but you've got accountability every day. So you can accountability, and there's obviously a lot of other stuff later. You'll see that you got accountability. So if you're not there at 5 a.m., so be it. A lot of people do like to be there at 5 a.m. just to keep their day off, or even 2 days a week. They say too, and that's fine as well. But again, sleep is very important as well. That might be part of your micro goals to really work on your sleep hygiene. So as long as you've got a time locked in and you try to stick to that time for daily magics 85% of the 100, you'll be absolutely flying. I promise you. They're 15 minutes, of course. They're 15 minutes in time, every time. Mobility, movement, mindset as well. Very heavy on mindset and daily themes. But it's just about injury prevention and work. Now, this is the thing. People that have not been on it for 40 days or 50 days they've already had slumps from a mindset perspective and emotion, which they're getting better at going back to little things, which is awesome because they've got their tools, but they've realised, and we all do, I do definitely, we realise that I've just got to be on it. It's on the daily, like we said, and it's got to be on the daily for 1,000 days. But crazily, the physical stuff when people stop is even more probably noticeable because people that haven't been injured for the whole year and a half have got niggles and tendinopathies and the like, which is just crazy because it is a lot of awesome stuff that I fit in the 75 minutes just to make sure that no one breaks. So just it's like a holistic thing for the whole week. So that combined with a lot of other things, you just can't break, which is pretty much everything that people don't want to do because it's not sexy, but it gets you feeling good for the day. It's not hard by any stretch, but it's also around balance, coordination, strength and stability, the basics. There's the simple basics that as human beings we just don't do enough, and it's in the comfort of your lounge room. You can do it with your PJs and cameras off, and so it's pretty basic, but it's very, very, very important. Yet again, flow not force, and the reps build self-belief there. Now this next slide, it's really exciting. I'm gonna turn the pages in a minute, but that's an add-on. We haven't had this before, and like so much of this, it's new, but it's really cool because I don't want anybody to be floundering. So we've got mindset with myself daily. That's not magic, it's different. And mindfulness with those lovely ladies on the right there. So if we click over, Louis, this is every single day of the 100. So 100 days in a row, bite-sized, and I've got a lot of messages. I'm going to have to condense them into 100. 100 days of drop daily, mindset shifting, resetting, motivation, perspective, wisdom, pretty much everything I'm writing anyway, but it's just in little 100 chunks. So it's 90 seconds. It won't be waffling, I promise, but it's about, you can click it on. It drops the same time every morning. Just click it on and go, awesome. Might be 7 a.m. You look at it, or 9 a.m. or lunchtime and work. But just knowing that that's there, if you feel yourself going back into some lethargy or a little bit of coming from places of lack, you quickly put that on very quickly. 90 seconds. That's great. That's a great add-on to the daily magics. But this next thing is elite. This is huge because you can't do anything from a place of stress. You can't do anything from a place of torment and, like I said before, the tornado and the cyclone all around you. So to build our concrete base, we need this. We've got these magnificent ladies joining the program that we're so grateful for. We've got Beata, on breath work. We've got Cara Randell on injury prevention, mobility, movement, and strength. We've got Juzzy Sharkey there doing a bit of guided meditation. We've got Shelley D doing some guided meditation and sound healing, sound and frequency healing. And Rain Watkin does a lot of good work in that space as well, with some yin yoga and some really deep stuff on that sense, the meditation stuff. So those five ladies on the daily will be dropping different things. And so the breath work, just kick it off, is just so cool. So if we flick over here, this is the stuff here, like the ability to reset and breathe and just take the time that no one's nothing is ever as bad as it seems, and it will always pass through. And if you can just keep remembering to shift it back and really shift in the parasympathetic nervous system and really regulate, it's everything. You could be feeling it in your belly, in your sleep, in your gut, in your lungs, in your injuries, in the way you move, in the way you react. I don't care. This kind of stuff is gold, and we need to do a lot more of it. And when you've got experts, like obviously I'll throw a bit in the magics, of course, but I'm just another participant here. I'll be guided by Beata when she's on there as well. So again, these aren't the magics. I'll still be doing all the magics, but these are just add-ons, everyday drops. So we've got Beata there, and if we flick over, we welcome Sarah Blom as well, who, again, just food and nutritional advice. She's a performance nutritionist. The best thing about Sarah's is she is so in line with what I've just spoke about, but really what I'm talking about the reps give self-belief and the balance and the self-love and self-compassion. And Sarah's is a mum of two, and she's done a great job herself with a lot of our crew in the runners format. But it's just about keeping it simple. So as Saz will be on there dropping stuff, she'll be there. She is there in the chat. She'll be obviously giving guidance for because in a minute I'm going to talk about your plan for yourself individually. So she'll be giving guidance for the individuals in there, and then there's other options that you might want to work a bit closer with her because again, this could be something really important for you, which is really important for your system. So, but at the you got Sarah to guide you every step of the way, and someone like myself, I'm doing this, but this is massive for me having Sarah in there as well. So that's huge. So Sarah's will be in there doing everything just in educating as well. Like, it's we've all got our own jobs and we've all got our own families and life and where our attention goes. And normally where your attention goes, your energy flows. So if your attention goes somewhere that isn't ideal, well, there it is. But if you can really lock in, not become obsessed, and that's why these girls, obviously Shelley is my wife, if you don't know, and Juzzy and Sarah and Cars, they're all of the same vein. They all have the same philosophy about consistency, happiness, having a laugh, having a fun, and really locking in when you have to on this kind of stuff. But it's not an obsession by any stretch. But it's really about enjoying every day and what's gonna reverse engineer, what's gonna make you happy and feel good at night, what's gonna make you get out of bed, jump out of bed with energy. It could be a big part of it. And if you're not sure where to start, we've got you covered there. If we move on to the next one here, you don't need much about me, but you've got Runners Pro Plus, of course. So we'll talk about that at the end there. But yeah, this is a pretty big part of it. I've got a welcome session before it kicks off, September 1. There will be people joining late, they always do, but it's all good because they can just look at that before they start. But I really encourage you to have a think about it, and if you can, get your stuff filled out late August before. And then this welcome session is just for me to guide you through some of your weekly movement and your micro goals. It can be it doesn't have to be massive, but it's about individuals. And again, it doesn't have to be public by any stretch. Just having a good think about, yep, awesome. This is what I want to do over the next 100 days. Great time, by the way, September 1, kick it done by mid-December. Perfect for you because then you can just navigate through Christmas going, yep, I'm impenetrable, I'm bulletproof. So no level requirements at all. It's just what you want to get out of it, how you want to feel. And then, so if you say, all right, at the end of the 100 days, I want to be like this, and then long-term stuff's great, but I just want to do this, this, and this. I might want to do this, be able to run 10K and muck around. My meso goals are this and this. And then I'll be able to help you work back to your micros as well. But it doesn't have to be crazy, that stuff. But I'll guide you and help you there. So you'll have your runners and yoga and meditation and Pilates and strength all at your disposal there if you are that way inclined. But there's something for everyone on there. If you go to the next one there, Louis, these are some of the dates. You got the welcome on the 30th of August, which is that video I was talking about. And again, you'll be probably in contact with me a bit anyway through that first week or two. We'll be seeing each other hopefully a bit anyway. 1st September is the first Magic. That's a funny one. So I'll be in New South Wales. I'll be in Sydney. Me and Cara will actually do that together live from Sydney, which will be awesome. Cars will join me for that one. Then the round tables every month. And look, these are, if they're not for you, that's okay. If you don't like sharing, that's totally fine. But the first one is just ironing out any kinks and early shares, which is the 9th September there. And they're really, I thought this would be, I wanted to do it because I wanted to connect, but I couldn't believe how powerful these have been, to be honest. And they're definitely the one surprise packet because the connection's pretty, yeah, pretty amazing with the conversations that I had and the people that feel connected and held by people in a state that just get no one there's no in this kind of setup. 7th of October, 11th of November, and 9th of December is the end of things. So it's really powerful stuff, those roundtables. Again, even if you just want to come on with no camera, and I won't ask you to share that, just listen or listen to, of course, they're always recorded like everything. They jump on the app and you can listen to them. But if you feel like you want to share, and the sharing just wins or things that aren't going as well, or how your micro goals are going, or any big wins or small wins or roadblocks, and because it's all just about being human. So please, those round tables, if you can and you feel like it, they're really powerful stuff, and it's just cool, really cool stuff to see people being vulnerable. If you flick it over here, that's some of our other legends in the past. There they are. Some good crew there, some good looking crew. And that's some of the alumni. Some of them doing it for the 300th, 400th days. So there's lots of people doing 300 days. None on this, I don't think. I haven't really looked at the people but on the Zoom. But yeah, fantastic. This is what you got there. What do we got? So 100 days non-stop. And that's the thing. The mindset shifts are crucial. And you can't do something until you really go inward. And I don't go preaching either because that's what I'm writing about. That's what I'm doing this for. And then I don't have to, if people aren't ready to do stuff, it's fine. We've got people on here optimizing that are in the best shape of their life. We've got people on here that can't walk. We've got people on here that are in rehab. We've got people on here severely struggling from an internal perspective, mental and emotional health, and they're all the same, and everyone is on the same journey. So it doesn't matter where you're at. Okay, it is about getting better than you are today in a positive, sustainable way that's gonna just make it feel like it's not a grind and make you energized and authentic and make you love who you are, not own who you are the last 30, 40 years. No, micro, meso, macro goals for life, not just the next 100 days. Weekday magic, mindset, mobility, movement, they're good fun. I have a bit of fun in there, but they're really powerful. On the daily, of course, the drops. I'm not going to go through it all again. The drops from me, the drops from the girls, a lot of stuff. Framework of the dietetics and nutrition, though, is probably pretty big, especially if you're struggling with a little bit of excess weight that you might want to get off. The movement custom formula is just individual, so me and you will work together on that a bit more, especially at the start. Obviously, you've got access to Runners Gold Pro, 100 days, welcome session, all the stuff I've just spoken about. As well as that, private Facebook group, we've got book recommendations and mindset resources that will drop, not daily, sorry. We're just going to drop them in every now and then. They're just powerful books that, just half a dozen or so, that we really love and try to live by. Of course, the daily accountability is probably number one. Now, Runners Gold Plus already know this, but they get the 50% discount already, so they know that. But for anyone else, the 999, or you got the 14 payments of 75 there. So these kind of things, it's about taking a breath and really setting yourself up for the next 100 days. But it's more important than that. You kind of got to strip the whole desk bare and just, so when you got 15 tabs open on your, I've got a computer here, that's what I'm pointing at if you don't know what I'm pointing. 15 tabs open all over the desk, and it's like, right, I want to do this and this and I want to do them all well. Just ditch the tabs, strip the desk bare, and start again in a positive way, And what you do once you strip the desk bare, you just start to put one book on and one tab on and then another tab on. But you do it with purpose. You do it whilst breathing through your nose and soft and relaxed. You do it measured and present. And then that is really something you remember. And then all of a sudden you put another thing on, another thing. But they're all real purposeful. So it's your family and your energy and the people you come in contact with. And then all these tabs are on, but they're all on and they're all working and they don't feel like a grind. They feel like it's meant to be like that. They're calm and they're controlled and it's flowing. And that's what we really try to do. And I think you'll find that it's a pretty simple way to live once you do it. You guys are on here. You guys are listening to this, watching this on YouTube or watching this somewhere else, watching this live. These legends. I don't like getting on socials talking about this stuff. I don't want to feel like I'm preaching because I know this stuff works. But this stuff is everything. And if people hear one thing on socials, that's great. But it's not about that because we know that it's about 100 days of small. And then it's like if you see some of the good examples, like they got the bigger stuff, and you see these people that have done amazing things, or how the hell do they do that? Oh, look, Smitty's looking great there. It's awesome. No one sees the 400 days of the little things that make the other things easy. And that's the stuff that make that 30K run easy, that make that business meeting easy. It's the little things that are building the structure. So that's a I've tried to succinct as best I could, but thanks so much for coming along live. If there is any questions, you're welcome to chat now or jump on live. Otherwise, we'll stop the recording pretty soon. But I can talk off air. But if you've got any questions on air or anyone wants to chat, it's simple and it's flow and it's coming back to ease and removing barriers and just keeping it simple. It's about how you can make every day good. I want to help people when they say, I'm working for the weekend or looking forward to the weekend. Because I just, especially like all people I know and love, like, I don't want them to have to live like that. So by doing magics and mindset and breath work and those days are going to be better. And what that does, it compounds. So it really does set your identity from the outset. But you're going to have a million times where it tries to pull you back, where people try to pull you back, where outside world try to pull you back. So that's where the force field is set, and the magics and everything else we do that builds your force field. Doing stuff with Sarah in the food and following Sarah's nutritional stuff. Doing stuff with Cara, Shelley, Juz. That builds the absolute concrete base, but more importantly, the force field. So no one can penetrate that. But it's been a pleasure. Thanks for spending 30 odd minutes with me. But never forget this, the most important thing. We get to do all this, we get to. So don't forget that. It's a privilege and it's 100 days, but it's the next 10,000. Micro, meso, macro goals. Start thinking about them now. Start thinking about some of your goals. Big love. Thanks for giving me your time on this Monday evening. Love yous all. Can't wait to say that at least 100 times. Cheers over the next 4 months.